when I first started teaching, from the theater school that I went to, the Neighborhood Playhouse, we never talked about emotions, we never talked about feelings. And when I first started teaching, the first like 8 years I started teaching, I never talked about emotions, I never talked about feelings. And then about 2 years ago, and it started really at the past studio, at the Actors Foundry, I started talking about your circumstantial state. And then I was like, okay, we'll call it emotional circumstantial state. I used to call it the E word, like let's not talk about the E word, you know? And that's a very standard kind of Strasbourgian group theater thing, is we don't talk about the emotions. Because we talk about process, we're process-oriented actors. And of course, we always talk about the process result divide. What is emotion? What is it? And what's the difference between emotion and feeling? So, an emotion is the raw, visceral, truthful, magnetic, electrical thing that's occurring. And then when you start thinking it through and trying to define it, you define it as a feeling. Right. To me, that's exactly right. So that's the first difference, which sets up that this is the truth, the sort of undefinable truth, and then this is us trying to compartmentalize it. So who does this and who does this? In a heightened moment when you're trying to achieve an objective, affect change in somebody else, and you're deeply involved inside of a circumstance, you don't have time to be doing this. No. You're working from this. So this is the actor's job, and this is the audience's job. Oh, yeah. It's energy in motion. A feeling is static. A feeling is, I'm sad. Boom! It's now static. We've compartmentalized it, we've judged it, we've interpreted it, and we've gone, stamped it. There it is. That's my feeling. It's static. Whereas an emotion is something that's in motion. It's energy in motion. So an emotion is a movement towards something. My job to create the energy and put it into motion. So access the energy. So when I say an emotional circumstantial state, the circumstantial state is what's dictating, that's what Lawrence just said, is dictating the action of the state. And the energy of it is the movement of it. And so the motion is the objective and the action, it's the circumstances. The state of mind is the feeling, but the energy is what's pushing it through. And so emotional circumstantial state is what we need to prepare. Emotional preparation is something that's putting you into motion. The motion is going to be what? The motion is going to be the actions that are leading on the arc to your major resolution, right? Well, and then there's the ones that drop you down, and when you're back, if you're going to be, obsessive, to the major realization. So your actions are actually the motion that's dictated by this. Yeah. So the process, which we talk about all the time, is you need to find this thing, this emotion, which puts you into the first action, which is the first motion, and then sets you on your journey. So where does the fetishization of emotions and feelings come from?
They believe that the emotion is the thing that's going to drive them, as opposed to the action that comes from the emotion.
Exactly. In other words, what I'm saying is emotional fetishization, the emotional preparatory fetishization, is the turning your emotion into feeling. Oops, your emotion into feeling. Wait, where's my feeling? Oh, there it is. Your emotion into feeling and hanging out in the feeling. And as soon as you love the feeling, you're static, dead.